was really imperative to our organization that we figured out how to tell our story in the midst of a pivot. We weren't changing our mission. We certainly had changed our presence in the city. And that's where I think the challenge came. How do we tell that story? Because we did have survivors who had lost everything. And we were trying to tell that story of recovery, as well as what the abounding amount of donations and support that we had received, as well as handling COVID in a time where people are losing their jobs.
I think just being a part of a small organization, you get a lot of emails and a lot of messages, and you're wearing a lot of hats all the time. We were all sort of in a fog or in a tizzy trying to figure out exactly how we were gonna find our footing, and that's really what prompted me to reach out. And I was like, uh-oh, when you have no idea where to go, then you're open to advisement, right? So
no one could have predicted the global pandemic and its impact on nonprofit organizations and to those in our community who are the most vulnerable. Many of our nonprofit partners have had to postpone or cancel fundraising events while also meeting increased demands for their services. That is why at Jackson we were so glad to support the quick consulting program the Center for Nonprofit Management was offering. This program provided practical tools for nonprofit organizations to use to effectively navigate this environment.
Working with CNM allows us to really get some hard and fast, black and white takeaways that we were able to input directly into our funding requests and build off of this pandemic and allow us to really pivot in a way that was meaningful to our partners and to the people that we serve, while also fitting the needs of the foundations and the organizations that we work with.
it was really, really helpful just to provide clarity and have somebody else to serve as a sounding board who's not necessarily connected to the organization and can provide sort of an objective perspective on things. So I learned a lot through the process of Quick Consulting. First was just to not be afraid of reaching out and asking for help and for advisement. A lot of times as an executive director, you feel like you're supposed to have all the answers, or your board feels like they're supposed to have all the answers. And one positive that's come from COVID is all of us recognizing that no one person has the answer, that we can all sort of figure out what our strengths are and work together to address issues. So just having somebody to serve as a sounding board where I could ask questions and they could respond by asking me more questions and help me think through every piece of the process, from programming to fundraising to just making sure that my team was supported, was really, really, really invaluable.